In my hands, I have what people are calling the best budget golf simulator and launch monitor of all time. The brand new FlightScope Mevo Generation 2. At just under $1,000, we're gonna see today, can it take the top spot in the budget golf simulator and launch monitor market, or is this thing a little bit overhyped? Let's find out. So since this is a budget launch monitor, let's start things off by talking about that price point. Now, in the intro, I said it was just under $1,000. Now, that's actually technically wrong because it's retailing at $1,199, and you'll actually be able to save a little bit more, probably 5% with our discount codes and links below. But why am I saying it's under $1,000 if it's actually just a little bit more? And that's because I really want to highlight something nobody talks about with these FlightScope products, and that's the fact that there are no subscription fees. So while you're probably looking at this product at just over $1,000 and then looking at other budget launch monitors like the Square Golf launch monitor or the Rapsodo MLM2 Pro, a lot of these devices under $1,000 actually have subscription fees that are $100, $200, almost $300. So when you factor in the fact that with the Mevo Generation 2, you can play courses right off the bat. There are no subscription fees. You could buy this device and be playing golf on a simulator, getting your readings outdoors at your driving range, and never have to spend a dime after that. That's why I wanted to bring up that price point and catch you guys off guard right away, so I can really highlight the fact when you purchase your budget launch monitor, you know how much subscription fees cost, and you consider that this device has none of them. All right, so next let's get into all the features and things the Mevo Generation 2 has to offer. So the first thing I want to highlight is the 8 E6 courses you're going to get preloaded with the device. I'll put the list of those courses right here, but this is what we were talking about with those no subscription fees. Every other product you have to pay some subscription fee to get access to courses, not with the Mevo Generation 2. You're gonna get these 8 E6 courses that you can use with iOS or PC products. So you can have an iPhone, an iPad, a PC, right out of the box, you can utilize this device to play golf simulator courses. And it also integrates with our favorite software, GS Pro. That's $250 a year, and pretty much every launch monitor we've ever tested, if they have access to GS Pro, we recommend paying that extra $250 to use GS Pro. And now I know what you're thinking, hey, you just talked about no subscription fees, but there's a subscription fee. But with other devices, you're generally paying their subscription fee plus GS Pro. Again, you don't want to pay extra fees, you can still play courses, but if you want to get the best accuracy and the best golf simulator experience out of the Mevo Generation 2, you can get GS Pro with that. Now, the next thing in the features are the data parameters. Which data is actually going to be measured and used in your golf simulator launch monitor experience? Well, we're going to list those all right here. I'm not going to name all of them off, but know the most crucial data parameters needed for golf simulator play to be performed at the highest level are included in the FlightScope Mevo Generation 2. Carry yardages, club speed, ball speed, vertical launch angle, spin rate, angle of attack, smash factor, you name it, the most crucial pieces to your golf simulator experience are there with the FlightScope Mevo Generation 2. And on top of that, you're also going to get for free FS Golf, which is FlightScope's integrated software. Now, that FlightScope software doesn't allow you to do course play, but it is just an insanely detailed, dedicated software to helping you improve your golf game. It allows you to integrate the FlightScope's camera in. It allows you to pause your swing and then draw lines on it for teaching. And basically, if you're looking for the most detailed software to get the most out of your swing, that's what FS Golf is for. Speaking of details, let's talk about a huge detail that they have improved upon from the Mevo Plus to the Mevo Generation 2, and that is battery life. The previous Mevo Plus had 2 to 3 hours of battery life. You would have to buy an external battery pack to hook up to the Mevo Plus if you wanted to play golf simulator courses for a long time, which wasn't a huge deal because it was like 40 extra bucks and you would just hook it up. But at the same time, it's nice that the Mevo Generation 2 is 6 hours long, meaning once you charge it, you generally will have a whole night where you can power on the device and not have to worry about the power. So that battery increase, big plus there for the Mevo Generation 2. And then finally, I just want to talk about the reliability of FlightScope devices. When you guys look at budget launch monitors, there's all these other choices that are going to promise all these great things, but what we found from testing is actually putting those into play play, they're just not as consistent as you may think. Whether that's misreading the ball or just plain out disconnecting because they connect through Bluetooth, a lot of these devices that seem really awesome, when you actually try to use them in a golf simulator experience, they get so frustrating that you end up returning the device and getting something new. And so what we're trying to get at with that is the FlightScope products are just so reliable and consistent. We've gone over 2,000 shots at times without any misreads or no reads, and we're expecting the same with the MEVO Generation 2. Now it's just a first look, so we're gonna see, but overall, I would just say disconnection issues, all these things have never been an issue with FlightScope, so we're pumped they finally released a budget launch monitor that is extremely reliable. Now, probably the biggest question people are going to be asking, what is the difference between the MEVO Generation 2 and the MEVO Plus? So surprisingly, from what we've heard, the ball data accuracy is essentially the same, and our initial tests have backed it up. We're going to be doing a full review, which will be released in a couple of days, where we really dive into the device's accuracy. But for now, I would say you could probably expect the MEVO Generation 2 to have the same ball data accuracy as the MEVO Plus. So your simulator experience in terms of where's the ball going, the direction, the carry, all that stuff, exact same. So then you're probably wondering, well, why would I spend more money on the MEVO Plus as opposed to the much cheaper MEVO Generation 2? Here is the key difference between the two devices. The MEVO Plus has the Pro package and face impact, which can be added on, and the MEVO Generation 2 does not. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the Pro package and face impact, those are basically club data metrics, which allows you to self-diagnose everything going on in your swing, and it allows you to identify what is going on and make changes extremely quickly. FlightScope has told me the MEVO Plus is for those serious golfers who want the ball data accuracy that they both offer, but want all the additional data to help refine your game. Now, one thing I want to make clear, club data measurements does not affect the accuracy of the ball data, which means how far your ball is going. All those things aren't going to be any worse because you don't have the Pro package or face impact. Those club data readings are just readings of what your club is doing. So that being said, that's why the MEVO Generation 2 is cheaper. Now, another key difference, which is going to be a positive for the MEVO Gen 2, is chipping is much better on the MEVO Gen 2 than the MEVO Plus. And I don't mean like the readings, like it's not more accurate, but the MEVO Plus had this issue where it would have trouble picking up short chips. Now, there was a workaround for it where I could get it to read the chip all the time, but most of my buddies who came over would have instances where they would take 1, 2 to 3 chips just to get it to read. Because of the MEVO Gen 2's higher camera, it allows it to pick up the chipping readings better. So we were able to, without any extra fiddling around, just set the device up like normal and get all our short chips to read, which is awesome. So in summary, if you are someone who has the money and are more of a serious golfer looking to improve your game with those club data metrics, then the MEVO Plus is probably for you with the Pro package and face impact. But if you're on a budget and you're like, I just want an awesome golf simulator experience where I can play courses and it's gonna read extremely accurate, and I'm not necessarily concerned with all these extra club data readings, then the MEVO Gen 2 is gonna be for you. Now, like we said, this is just a first look. So we haven't had a ton of time to really dig into the accuracy. So one of the things we love to do on first looks is to put this device on course play and see how it performs. So to test out how good this thing is, we got a 3-hole match between me and Ryan Links, and we're gonna showcase everything this device can do. All right, boys, so you know the best way to put these things to the test? A little 3-hole match. We got Arcadia Bluffs, GS Pro, and the MEVO Gen 2 with RCT balls.
Let's do it.
Good luck, my man.
Good luck.
Yeah, that's a good drive.
It's not bad.
It's a good start. That's a good start.
Immediately puts the offline in red.
All right, right guy, let's see it, huh?
Let's see it. First swing in a while.
Nice.
There we go.
I mean, I think, what would you say with those numbers? I feel like that's right about what we see with a good drive.
Yeah, with a good ball, that's pretty normal. 280 carry.
And one thing we know from testing all these, we know the ball speed and the club speed is going to be 100% spot on. Yeah. Those have been so good through all our tests. So we know those are right. That spin number looks pretty normal for you. I think all those numbers, honestly, they all look really good.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going 6 iron. When struck well, this is about 210, I would say. I'm kind of had my shot shape has been a push draw. So either push it left or draw it here. Should be a little right. Yep, look at that.
Come on.
That's what, Ryan, you love to see that,
Just
you
a
know?
little draw. Sit on it.
Sit.
Yup.
Uh-oh, birdie to start.
That's the birdie.
So that's what we like though, right? Right before I hit it, I said, that's gonna be a little draw.
Yeah. 9 yards.
I mean, literally exactly what I said.
Yep.
And so that's what I love that about the Mevo. Is that in?
Go. Go.
Sit. Sit.
Oh.
All right, birdie, birdie to start.
Birdie, birdie.
All right, I'm going pitching wedge again. Shot shape for me, kind of a push left or a draw. Pitching wedge for me is gonna be between 140 and 150 generally. That should be pretty good.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Another little baby draw.
Now, spin number 7,000, that would seem low for a pitching wedge. That's my spin numbers.
Yeah.
Like that's right on at what my spin numbers are. I am a low spin player, so that's exactly what I'm expecting there. Club speed 91, exactly what I'd expect. Great shot, Ryan. Great
Stay
shot.
left. Stay left.
How did that feel? That feel like that was?
That felt perfect. Like I'd say with the lower, like wedges and lower irons, I'd say it's maybe just barely a little fade, which that felt like both of those pitching wedge right there.
Another par 5, we're both 1 under here. Let's see with that. So that, only thing I'm gonna say about that, that is the one downside of the Mevo. I towed that a little bit, so generally that toe is gonna put a little draw spin. So I would expect that, Ryan, to probably be instead of 10 yards left, that's probably 10 yards right.
Yeah.
But that is the only issue with these Mevo devices.
That's probably going a little bit left. Yeah.
Was that a toe ball?
Yeah, that was a toe ball, which I thought would draw a little bit more than that, but felt pretty accurate.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's like we said, that's the only issue, and we're hitting a lot of drivers here, so you're gonna see it.
Yeah.
Again, what that allows, it allows you to only worry about club path and face angle, because it's what it's telling you is, hey, if you were to hit that near the center of the face, that's the direction it would go. And again,
Yeah.
it doesn't happen with irons. It really is only a thing you gotta be concerned with driver, and as long as you have knowledge of it, you're gonna be able to translate it to the course really well, and it's gonna train you to get a really good club path and face angle. All right, we got 4 hybrid, 234. Where are we going? All right. Yep, pulled it, closed the face a little bit. Get off the green, let me chip.
Ooh.
Oh no, we're gonna get a 3-putt par. Oh, we're in the 3-putt zone. Dude, that sucks. You hit the green, you close it out, you win, Ryan.
All right.
We're a little fat.
A little fat, but.
A little fat. Be in the bunker. Be in the bunker.
No, that's over.
3-putt.
Go, go,
3-putt.
go. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Okay, I got a chip. I got a chip chance.
All right, so this is gonna set up our big test perfectly. So one of the tougher things we had with the Mevo Plus that we're looking for in the Mevo Gen 2 is how does it deal with short chips? So this is kind of that tweener range, but basically anything under like 25, sometimes it'd have a hard time reading it. We've been told the Gen 2 Mevo sits a little higher. It's gonna pick those up a little better. So we're gonna see if Ryan can get this chip to read on the first time.
Holy cow.
Yeah, you got 1 putt for the win, Ryan.
Yeah, but look at this chip.
That's tough.
Hard right to left to right, uphill.
It's a tough chip.
24 yards. Sit. Oh my.
Oh, you gotta put it in the 1 putt now.
All right.
Okay, now this is a perfect test, Ryan, because on the old Mevo Plus would struggle to read.
Very finicky.
Yeah, you'd get it to read.
Yeah.
But it would take you 3 times. But we'll see if you can get it on this first try.
All right, 10 yards. So I'm feeling like we always used to go 10 yards was kind of like just shy of the bunker almost.
Yep.
Thinking right around there. Landed just shy of the blue.
That's gonna be close.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. 3
Yeah.
yards of carry. Landed it, hit right about the blue bumper.
So far, everything we're hoping for. All the ball data as accurate as the Mevo
yeah.
Plus. It's better at chipping. The only thing you're missing out on, don't have pro package or face impact. So all of that learning data for people who are a little more serious golfers, but that's why they're different price points.
Yep.
It's a good tie.
Good match.
Good match.
Initial thoughts on the accuracy, it does seem to be as good as that Mevo Plus with the ball data accuracy. Very impressed with that. Short chips are reading better, and overall they took a consistent powerhouse launch monitor and golf simulator and seemed to have made it even better for an affordable price. Now, this was just for in indoor accuracy. So let's talk a second about outdoor accuracy. If you're gonna take this to the range, the accuracy will be even better. People know that radar devices are king when they're outdoors because they can read the entire ball flight of the ball. If you're concerned with taking this thing to the range and you wanna take it to the range, know that the accuracy is going to be spot on. Now, moving on to the setup of the device, and I want you guys to lean a little bit closer because this is very important. The MEVO Plus and the MEVO Generation 2, which we're taking a look at, use RCT balls to get the optimal spin readings. You can use these silver stickers to put on them, but I just want to warn you guys, get the RCT balls. If you don't get the RCT balls, it's like buying a Ferrari and then putting a speed limiter on it at 70 miles per hour. Why would you do that? Don't do that, okay? Get the RCT balls, get the best accuracy out of the device. And once you get your RCT balls, I'm gonna show you how easy this is to set up. Now, the first time you set this up, it'll probably take 10 minutes. Then every time after that, I would think it would take 1 to 2 minutes. So all you gotta do is put the device down and push the power button on. Once that's on, you put the device 8 feet back from where you're gonna hit. And then you wanna give yourself a minimum of 8 feet of ball flight. We recommend at least 10 if you got it. And PSA, we recommend getting a stand for it like the MEVO Plus has, where you can adjust the feet to adjust kind of the tilt and the roll of the device. I don't think they have them out yet, but I'm guessing they will, and we just used our MEVO Plus stand. Now, after the device is powered on, you've got it set up on the ground, you're just gonna need to connect the MEVO Generation 2 to your Wi-Fi. So a couple ways you can do this. You can get a Wi-Fi adapter so you can have internet through Wi-Fi, and then you can connect the MEVO Plus through Wi-Fi. We'll link that below. So you'd have like 2 Wi-Fi connections, one to your actual internet, one to the MEVO Plus. Now, once the device is connected, you need to boot up your golf simulator program. We highly, highly, highly recommend GS Pro. We think with its golf simulator algorithm, it gets the most accurate results out of the FlightScope products. And again, after you boot up your program like GS Pro, make sure you select the RCT ball option because you're going to use RCT balls, guys. Make sure to use them. Adjust your MEVO Generation 2 or the stand it's on until the tilt is between 11.5 and 12 degrees and the roll is between 0.1 and -0.1. Select fusion tracking, and again, make sure the RCT ball option is selected. Click connect, and you are good to go. That's all it takes. All right, so next we're gonna get into the space constraints of the MEVO Generation 2. The best thing about the FlightScope products is they are the easiest devices to use for lefties and righties, but it's gonna come at a cost of space constraints because if you wanna have lefties and righties, you're not gonna move the device, but you probably need a minimum of 15 feet of width to make that work. You're gonna want about 19 feet of depth. You could get away with 16 from the MEVO to the screen. You could do 8 and 8, but we highly recommend getting at least 10 feet of ball flight to get the most accurate results. And then you're gonna want probably 10 feet of height, might be able to get away with 9.5, depending on how short you are with your driver. And continuing the space constraints topic, let's talk about how big the hitting area is. It's about the same as the MEVO Plus. You got about a foot wide box by a foot deep, plenty of room to pretty much throw it down anywhere in there and get accurate results. All right, moving on to the simulator programs. Which programs can you use with that MEVO Generation 2? Well, of course, it's gonna come with that E6 Connect, those 8 free courses for PC or iOS. And it's also gonna come with the FS Golf app. But which ones can you add on? Well, there's a lot, guys. You got Creative Golf 3D, the Golf Club, Awesome Golf, GS Pro, the Stack System, and Super Speed. So if you wanna increase that swing speed, that pairs with your FlightScope product. RCT balls and an Apple Watch, I guess, which is pretty sweet. Again, we've already said it once, but the #1 program to get the most accurate readings, GS Pro. We get no commission on that, guys. It's not like we're getting paid by GS Pro. We just truly believe in that golf simulator program and know it's worth the yearly cost. All right, our next topic is responsiveness. From when you hit the ball to how fast it shows up on the screen, how responsive is it? Pretty responsive. It's not the most lightning quick response we've ever seen. It's probably about a second from when you hit the ball to when it shows up on the screen. But at the end of the day, guys, we've tested all these devices, and whatever one you get used to. Like, we have some that appear in 0.3 seconds from when you hit it, which is awesome, but your experience isn't any worse when it shows up a second later, and you really only would notice a difference if you go from one to the other continually, which really no one would do. Okay, next up, my least favorite topic, putting. Putting on the MEVO Plus was okay, not the best. On the MEVO Generation 2, it's good. That's what we've heard. To be honest, we don't test putting, so if you want to figure out how good the putting is, you're probably going to want to watch another review from like Breaking 80. But hear me out, here's why we don't test putting. If you got 4 guys playing 18 holes and you putt out all the time, it's going to take like an extra hour to play 18 holes. And let's be honest, putting on a simulator doesn't make you better at putting in real life. So our take is to use the auto putt features. It is just as fun and you can get way more holes done in a shorter amount of time. All right, moving on to one of the biggest benefits of the Mevo Generation 2, lefties and righty plays. If you notice from our little 3-hole match between me and Ryan, we had lefties and righties seamlessly with no issues. A lot of these devices sit beside you, and if you wanted to use lefties and righties, you'd have to pick it up and move it every shot or every hole, which is just kind of a pain in the butt. So big plus on the lefties and righties. All right, next up, we're on to the negatives of the Mevo Generation 2. First negative, it doesn't have the Pro Package or Face Impact add-on that the Mevo Plus has yet. We've heard there's a chance they may add it on, but it doesn't have the unlimited club data and basically every metric you could ever ask for to improve your game that the Mevo Plus has. Now, like we said, that doesn't affect the accuracy of the ball flight, so you don't have to worry there, but obviously more club data is better, but there's also a reason it's cheaper, and it offers just as much club data as pretty much any budget option in the price category. Now, con number 2 is the RCT balls. You need to use these specialized balls to get optimal accuracy. The good news is they're Titleist's Pro V1 RCT balls or Pro V1 X, so they're really high quality balls, but that's not necessarily a con for the price point because every single budget option in this price point has specialized balls to use. And then finally, the only real accuracy con with the FlightScope products indoors is the gear effect. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, what gear effect is basically if you hit it on the toe of your club or the heel, it's going to cause a certain sort of side spin. So toe shots tend to draw more, heel shots tend to fade more. But what's going to happen is, let's say you hit a shot with your driver that should be fading slightly to the right, but you hit it on the toe. If you hit it on the toe, that will add a little draw spin. Instead of fading slightly right, it'll probably draw a little bit in. Is that a con? Yes, it is, but I honestly don't mind it in some ways, because if you're someone who will use the simulator essentially all winter and then kind of play outdoors in the summer, it's really a great teaching tool, because without taking gear effect into account on the driver, what it causes you to do is to get a perfect club path and face angle. And then as long as you hit it on the center of the face or even just semi-center of the face, it's going to read that left to right accuracy perfectly. But on those really bad toe mishits and heel mishits, it's going to be a little bit off on the offline. But for a budget option, it's still about as accurate as you can get. Now, let's get into my final thoughts, first impression of the Mevo Generation 2. From our initial testing, about 100 hits and playing a 9-hole round with Ryan, the ball data accuracy does seem to be as good as the Mevo Plus, and in some cases it reads stuff better, like the short chips and putts. Now, like we said, you're missing that club data add-on, that Pro Package and that Face Impact, but it's also a budget launch monitor, so they got to find a way to differentiate the Mevo Plus and Mevo Gen 2 anyway, and that's kind of really the difference in what you're paying for. Now, final thought number 2, I don't think you're going to be able to find a more accurate, more reliable launch monitor and golf simulator for this price point. And I think it's simply the best overall golf simulator experience you can have. If you love having groups of people over and just want something to run really smoothly and accurately, the Mevo Gen 2 is the way to go. Now, some of these other budget options, they are good and they may seem cheaper, but remember, they have subscription fees. And when we've put these other budget options into testing, a lot of them just aren't as reliable as the Mevo products. We'll constantly get disconnections. We'll get a lot of misreads and no reads. And while they're just as accurate in some cases, just the day-to-day workability seem to be more of a pain than the Mevo Generation 2. As they say in the NFL, the best ability is availability. And the Mevo Generation 2 is like that Pro Bowl player who plays every single game all year and never gets injured. And then final thought number 3 is that this thing is just awesome. Like, we have launch monitors up here that are $12,000. We've had $15,000 launch monitors in here. And if I'm being honest, If you're higher than a 5 handicap, you probably won't be able to tell the difference between like a Uneekor IX02 or a Foresight Falcon compared to this MEVO Generation 2. The experience is that good. So to end the video off, if you want to get the MEVO Generation 2 at the lowest possible price, or you just want to get any golf simulator at the lowest possible price, use our discount codes and links below. And if you have any questions on how to build a golf sim, email us at golfbustersofficial@gmail.com. And we'll see you in the next one.